What is going on, everyone? Anthony here, and welcome back to another Resident Evil Collection update. But this one is going to focus on one particular item, and this is actually really cool. So we're going to unbox this live, and we're actually going to test it as well, because this is something that does have to be tested. We have to make sure this thing works, and you can already tell from the title what it is. But got a good deal on this thing, right? So now we just got to see what we have in store. All right. So let's see here. Try to get the at the corner here. All right. Packaged really well, so that's a good thing. Packaged really well. And let's see. All right, just a bunch of protection, because obviously with something like this, you want to make sure you don't pack it like shit. Okay. So the first couple things we have in here are some miscellaneous games that were just kind of bundled with it. This is actually kind of cool. This is probably a used Xbox Live Resident Evil 5 ad promo, which is interesting. But he got Halo 3 and Grand Theft Auto 4 sealed, which I didn't even know this was sealed. I don't know if that's worth anything, but I got a sealed copy of GTA 4. So there you go. Don't worry, we're getting to the main thing here. This is just the extra shit right here. Overlord, which I don't think I've ever actually played, but you know, there it is right there, Overlord. Resident Evil 5, which I don't know if I have a normal 360 copy of this or not, just like chilling, but this is like pretty much sealed. Like, it's like ripped a little bit here, but it's a pretty much a sealed copy of Resident Evil 5, which is kind of cool, because this is actually the version that came with what you're about to see. And Madden, of course, from Blockbuster, so it wouldn't be a lot if you didn't get a sports game here. Okay, so we'll get to these. We'll get to them. The 360 Power Brick. These things I don't miss, but I do have one that is already the same thing that this is. I have the two different ones, so I'll probably just use them instead. Okay. So he has an extra cable. That's fine. That's okay. It has an HDMI. It has, it hooked me up with the cables, which is cool. Okay. Holy shit, this thing's awesome, guys. All right, the moment that you've been waiting for and that I've been waiting for. I've wanted this thing for a while, and I got this for a good deal. One of the best things that you can do is make an offer on eBay. When they give you that option, work magic. This is... Man, this thing actually is in solid shape. This is the red Resident Evil 5 Xbox 360 edition. Now, I know what you're thinking. Did you not get it with the box? Well, unfortunately, it is expensive with the box. Maybe one day if I find it, but it does in fact have the black and red, which is great. Gears of War would have a similar looking console with the slim 360. Obviously, it had the black and red kind of locust theme on that one, so that one obviously looked a little bit cooler. But this is like really cool. This is a 120 gigabyte hard drive, which at the time, that's pretty damn good. There's a little bit of some scuffs on the top here, as you can see. There's a little bit of a scuff here. And a little bit of a scuff. I don't even know if you can actually see it from the angle, but little bit of marks here and there. Obviously some smudges by the hard drive, but like this side actually looks pretty solid. And the front tray actually has the peel still on it, which is actually kind of cool. I'm going to keep that there. And this faceplate is nice. So this is the console. And yeah, this thing doesn't even look like it was opened or messed with or anything. This looks really good. It's got HDMI on the back, so it is an HDMI Xbox 360. Post the red ring fix, but obviously, you know, you never know with these consoles, so that's why we're going to test it live. Well, not live, because when you're watching this, I'm not actually live. A video is premiering, but we're going to see it in real time, basically. But we're not done yet, because we're going to have to check out these controllers now. So, with the controllers, this is the... Oh, wow, this is actually in pretty good shape. Like, the thumbsticks actually feel like they have texture, and this wasn't played with at all, really. This is the red Xbox 360 controller. There's a little bit of a scuff on the battery pack back here. It looks like dirt. It looks like something I can probably clean up. It doesn't look like a full scuff, but this just feels like a new controller. Again, another cool piece of the collection, so I definitely wasn't going to get the console without the red controller. You got to be careful, though, because a lot of people that have this machine online and listed, the controllers always seem to be, like, fucked up for some reason. So I wanted to find something that, you know, I mean, finding a good 360 controller, considering they don't make them anymore, is hard to find. And it looks like it came with another Xbox 360 controller, which looks like it's in great shape, to be honest with you. This fucking looks amazing. This is a an Elite controller, as we would call them back in the day. The old Xbox Elite. This actually has a little battery pull on the back here. This thing looks like... Guys, like, there isn't... Like, there's some, like, marks on this, but, like, even on, like, the grit on the side here, normally you can tell. Like, there's some dirt in here, you could tell. But it's nothing like crazy. Like, these are actually in good shape. And I needed better Xbox 360 controllers, to be honest. Because when you have old ones, obviously, they get worn and stuff like that happens. So, but okay. So now that we have the console and we know that it's here in one piece, does it work? Well, let's plug it in and find out. Alright, guys. So what I have here is the Resident Evil 5 Collector's Edition. This is my steelbook that I got. This is something that it's still here. It's corroded a little bit over the couple years, but the disc seems to still be fine. So this is my original Resident Evil 5 disc, and we are going to try it out on the Xbox. So let's pop this open. I peeled this back a little bit just so we can eject the tray, and let's give it a shot. We'll start it from here. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Alright, starting up. Alright, we got green. Okay. This I wasn't expecting, but it looks like we are, in fact, signed in to an old profile. And look at this. The old school dashboard. I just think that is amazing, just to be able to see this old school dashboard. And this guy just never deleted his stuff. Let's go to the video library. I don't even want to know what this guy has on here. Let's see, wireless world, Halo first commercial. That's interesting, right? Everyone remembers this commercial. Oh man, I haven't seen this in fucking years. Wow, the old media player. We're not going to play the whole thing. I don't want to get copyright striked by any music or anything. Halo 3 announcement. That's kind of cool. Interesting. So this guy just never did anything on this hard drive here. I guess when he E306. So this guy was downloading shit in 06. So I guess this guy just didn't even give a shit when he sold this thing. And he just, like, you know... Yeah, any albums on this thing here? No? Nothing ripped on here. Nothing ripped on the 360. Okay. So this is a blast from the past. I think this is kind of cool. You know, but I mean, it looks like there's a bunch of shit on here. Looks like he has, you know, some save files. Nothing crazy, though. Nothing crazy. Pac-Man, Street Fighter, Uno. Feeding Frenzy, Halo 3. Jim. Fucking Jim had this console. Alright. So, now that we kind of... This is kind of cool. I'm not going to be updating this console. No way. I'm just going to keep this thing. You know, this is 2008, 2009. This brings me right back to this time period when it was just Xbox Live parties, friends playing games together, Gears of War 2, Gears of War 1, but around this time, it was Gears of War 2. And, you know, this was just a crazy time. In gaming, and it was fun. It was very memorable. And of course, Resident Evil 5 in 2009, which is just so anticipated. So let's pop in my old RE5 disc and see if this thing reads discs. Alright, and the Xbox 360 is louder than ever. And, but it's good. It's running. We are running Resident Evil 5. Which also helps when you're playing these old consoles for whatever weird reason. Like me, I'm a collector, right? There's, you know, we like playing these old consoles, but if you're playing a 360 like myself, a very old 360, you know, oh my god, look at that. It's the old school dashboard. I gotta create save data. Alright. We gotta create some save data here, that's fine. I mean, this is, you know, first time this console has seen this game, so very interesting. Alright, doesn't matter. We're just gonna make sure this thing plays good. Obviously, we're just gonna get into the intro screen. But, like I said, there's not a lot of people like me that's playing, you know, hooking up a 360, unless you're like a collector, right? Most people are just playing all this stuff on Xbox and everything, like on the new Xbox and everything's running. But there's something cool about, you know, the vintage machines, even though RE5 on here runs, you know, in a way lower frame rate, and this is what we were used to at the time, you know. But it's interesting that, like, you know, I can get this console and it's kind of like not updated since 2008, 2009, you know. That's really interesting, you know. It's just cool. I wasn't expecting that, to be honest. I thought this thing could have potentially been updated, but it looks like this guy just kept everything on there and just was like, fuck it, we're just gonna keep this going here. Now we're loading into the shanty town in Resident Evil 5, and obviously you can probably hear the 360 running next to me, but that's just how loud the 360 is. It's actually not as loud when it's just sitting in the dashboard as the other models before this. Oh yeah, but look at this frame rate. This isn't even the video, this is just how it's running. Obviously, you know, it's just the 360, but this was normal back then, you know, playing this on, you know, a CRT is what I played it on first, and then I got a HD TV later. This Xbox model does have the HDMI, and it is, you know, it's running as good as a 360 does run. It's not stopping or stuttering, or it's not denying the disc or anything like that. It seems to be running pretty well. The red 360 controller is in great shape, and there's actual textures to the thumbsticks. This wasn't worn down, and the only way to get the red controller was if it was sold by itself, you know, without someone knowing, or with this console. So this is kind of a particular red and black controller, and it feels good. And I just cleaned it, wiped it down. I got rid of the smudge on the back and everything, so this thing is looking nice. And I needed a really reliable 360 controller. This thing is like in like new condition, to be honest with you. I mean, this person probably played the machine for a little bit, but like, this is, you know, this was taken care of. Just seeing this menu right here with the old school blades, right when they converted to this, really does bring you back to that time period. And yeah, this is just kind of cool, you know. Obviously there's a lot of, let's see, is there a date here? May 2009. So this console was probably last updated May of 2009. That makes sense considering, you know, the actual dashboard and when this console came out. So 2009 was when this guy was playing Madden, when Jim or whoever was playing this console. But I'm gonna probably just keep it like this. You know, it will just be, you know, a console. I can actually put, you know, my profile on here if I wanted to, but there's not really any reason. You know, this is just a really cool looking console and a really cool snapshot in time. for the Xbox 360, and it's really cool to have it, because I never thought I would actually be able to get it, because that thing did sell out back when it came out really fast. So you know, now we're finally checking it out, and it's cool. So there it is, guys. That's the Xbox 360 Resident Evil 5 edition, working, running, and, well, it's another Xbox in the collection. I don't collect a lot of Xbox consoles, but something like this in this era, I just thought that it was really cool. And, you know, Resident Evil consoles, that like never happens, you know, Resident Evil themed consoles. So the fact that they did this, just even though it doesn't have, you know, any kind of Resident Evil imagery on it, it was still considered the Resident Evil 5 console back when I saw this thing. And yeah, I finally have it, and it's really cool to have a Resident Evil console that is in good shape, you know. And I will use this thing, you know. I like playing sometimes on the old school 360. Obviously, a lot of the stuff is backwards compatible and you can play it, but when I bring out the old 360, or if I want to boost achievements or do whatever dumb stuff I do on 360, stay tuned for that. I'm going to be doing a video diary on boosting Resident Evil 6 360 achievements with a 360 that can go online. So I already have that, but this just adds to the collection, and I got it for a really good deal. So shout out to the seller. Shout out to, you know, the old school era of 360. You know, this was the era when, you know, co-op was, you know, booming on Resident Evil 5, and, you know, I remember the promotional cycle for Resident Evil 5 like it was yesterday, and, you know, all over YouTube. And so, you know, this stuff was just always around. You know, I always saw the ads for this thing, and I was just like, man, I already got a 360, I already dealt with the red ring, so I never like pulled the trigger on it. But obviously, it new in boxes, you know, you're talking $600-700. So if I do find a box for this, I will make an update collection video that's just, you know, me adding the box to this thing. Until then, I am satisfied with this console and purchase overall. And let me know what you think of this console down below. Do you remember this thing? Do you remember seeing this thing? And would you want to see more Resident Evil themed, you know, PS5s or Xbox Series consoles? I would love to see something like that. So don't forget to drop a like down below, subscribe if you're new, and leave a comment to keep the discussion going. And we'll catch you in the next one. A big shout out to everyone that supports us on Patreon. With starting at just $1 a month, you get access to exclusive polls to vote on channel content, and with $5 and up, you get exclusive Patreon podcasts, live streams, and much more. Thank you so much for your support, and we'll catch you in the next one.